pretty well.
Too easy for Deed Easy.
Anyway, so the Snapfire is quite strong in either position. They're both very similar, though. Offlane, I guess, better, especially in SCA. It's more offlane. I don't see her mid as often here, but it is possible. And it's a nice combination with the Jakiro, Ice Path plus the Orbs. Actually quite nice. Both of them fulfill very similar roles because they're both zoners. So you play with an extreme zoning, which works really well when you have Earth Spirit and Lifestealer to catch up to you.
What are we missing here? This is a pretty like well-rounded Team Star draft. I can't really.
You're not missing anything, which is a good sign.
Yeah, right. Like I always find myself thinking, what do I say here? Well, what are they missing? Well, they got good early tower damage. They got good late tower damage. They have good stuns, good damage, good.
You want more reliable lockdown, maybe, because you don't have a single lockdown that's not a skill. Sorry,
okay.
what is it? Skill shot.
Skill shot. Sure, kind of. Cookie less so than the other two. I'll grant you the other two.
Cookie is the hardest skill shot to land.
Come on, dude.
I don't know.
What do you want about?
All right.
I mean, we could use someone that likes to build a break, right? Because we do have plenty of vessel carriers at least with the vessel. Sorry,
Our Spirit is
Our Spirit. Yep. So that's that. But we could use either a Dispel, I think, would make their lives a lot easier, or alternatively a break.
Dispel's okay. I mean, a save in general is kind of what they're missing. Really, they don't really have any.
An aggressive
save.
Dispel. Sorry, that is an aggressive Dispel.
Oh, offensive Dispel.
Yes.
Okay, so Enchantress, Invoker.
That's a very big difference.
Okay, Enchantress, Invoker, or Brewmaster then. Literally, you don't have any else.
I wouldn't mind. Well, if you pick the Invoker, then what? That's going to be a snap off lane.
Yeah, which is fine. I would rather see the snap off lane.
Yeah, I kind of like that actually. Snap Earth Spirit.
Invoker's pretty decent, to be honest.
Yeah, I like the Invoker. Go maybe
Claws Wex, definitely, because this game against Timbersaw.
Build the vessel, have that up really early versus the Timbersaw.
Only weakness is Invoker Quas Wex. Technically loses the lane against a Tiny. However, I've seen Invokers win that lane regardless. Because the Invoker being Invoker.
And I think that's fine.
And it's DDZ's best hero.
I think that's fine because I think you definitely, it is actually. Because I think you want an early rotating mid lane. Maybe you don't go, the Quap is banned. That was going to be my other suggestion. The Ember Spirit is still available.
No,
not against a Tiny. But I think we need a +1, right? Because a Jakiro, Earth Spirit, Snap, even with a Snap core, in my opinion, you're going to be either entirely dependent on probably Macropyre, Magnetize, or the Kisses, or you can get alternatively just a +1, just a little bit. Even a Cold Snap Urn Vessel is perfect. That's all you need, and then that's kills. That's money. Against anyone. Anyone.
No, that's why I do love the Invoker. If not any faster hero, the Void Spirit's been bad, but faster heroes would have been nice. I actually like the Quap a lot. Kunkka was okay, just because Kunkka matchup against Tiny is so good. And I'm thinking of other heroes. Viper wouldn't be too bad.
I was just about to say.
But the issue with Viper is that if RB Geniuses finds another way to play the Tiny, right? If you put in 5 or whatever crazy stuff they come up with, then the Wind Ranger beats the Viper mid, which is strong. So, you can have to consider that. Because the draft is just so awkward for RB Geniuses that guessing where they're going to go is not easy.
Yeah, I think I would settle for an Invoker quite
They need a
happily.
carry here. Sven. I mean, you're going for the tanky boy draft, so Sven, dude.
Well, I mean, how do you punish this, right? You have 2 melee strength cores, at least. Well, 2 strength cores at least, right?
Yeah, 3 melee strength heroes, sure.
3 melee. No,
you go for the Enigma then, Team Star. You go for the Enigma. And then as an offlaner, put Snapfire mid, and then you absolutely destroy Army Geniuses. But it's a bit of a meme,
Well, I was thinking for Army Geniuses, how do you punish this, though?
Oh, what, for Team Star, you mean?
Oh, okay.
So it's the IO carry, maybe? Because the IO carry has been played. It's not crazy. We're not suggesting this. I mean, especially now, it's still played somewhat. But it's odd because usually the way IO carry is played, even to this day, actually IO mid is more popular. But usually the way that it's played is that you have some sort of partner to go with that can really take advantage of it. So maybe it's Tiny carry IO mid? Maybe?
Oh, Tiny and IO.
Yeah, right.
Elemental Adventures.
And if you run him as a carry, then it actually kind of works.
What a throwback. Yeah, I guess. Do you dual lane it?
No. You go IO mid and then Tiny carry. And then what you do is that halfway through the game, you just
They link up.
Yeah, they link up.
And they
join forces.
They join forces. They put the 2 rings together.
No. And then Tusk is like, you have a ring too. Shut up, Tusk. You're a walrus. Team Star, what do you... honestly, I don't think they're looking at the enemy draft because they're like, whatever. It's reading this. Reading this is more of a hindrance than actually like trying to read it is worse. It really is worse.
So then I still think you pick Invoker because then we're right, they're right.
No, I like the Invoker still.
You have a Vessel, which is great.
DP is fine too. I like the DP quite a lot as well because they don't have much burst damage. Well, besides Tiny, of course. But if Tiny is carry, which is what I'm guessing.
Yeah. So what'll it be? Not what I expected.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're throwing the meta out the window here.
So then it's what, the AA5 Jakiro
No, AA
forward?
mid, I think.
AA mid, you reckon?
I want to say it's AA mid, actually, because against the IO it makes sense. Oh, no. I think it's... Oh, it is AA mid. Yeah, I was right. AA mid, Lifestealer as the carry. Yeah. I have the offlane slap. Whereas for Army Geniuses, they are... Okay, hard to tell because of the... it is going to be the Tiny as a 5 then, so they're not going to running him as a carry. Interesting. I can only presume the Tusk is... What? What are these? Double check their... Sorry about this, guys, but with open qualifier teams, sometimes the data you get from them is not the correct one. So I'm just going to double check to make sure that I can give you the correct information before we start with the game.
Yeah, well, Alvaro is just double checking over there. I might as well. Yeah, it is actually going to be DDZ mid lane on the Ancient Apparition, so that's going to be pretty fun. Yamada as well is pretty well known here in the SCA region, while Army Geniuses, while they definitely in their fair share of tournaments, are a little bit more definitely of the underdogs going into this one. I wouldn't be too surprised at all to really see them... I don't know. They're definitely not the favorites going into this. I would be shocked to see them actually make it into the group stages, or make it out of the group stages, that is. As we will be getting right into this one.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we're both ready. So they're going to be running. I had to double check this because I had fake data on this team. I did not use the
Fake data.
thing. Yeah, because when you get teams that come from open qualifiers, a lot of changes means that a lot of data is outdated, right? So you don't exactly know what names they're using officially, but confirmed that it is going to be a worthy odd draft. I was expecting the Tiny to be some sort of core, but you're actually running a dual support, just Tusk Tiny, which, wow, dude. Just wow, honestly. The confidence to do this. I love the Ancient Apparition mid, though. I think the Ancient Apparition mid is a great pickup. This Wind Ranger is going to suck.
Yeah, not going to have a very fun time for sure. It is, as well, the core Wisp, safe lane Wisp at that, having the Bracer ready to go. That's going to be blocking that camp as well. So good read out from Team Stars. They're going to make sure that they can at least have the tower constantly shoving. Wisp, not the best at CSing, especially early on, so they might be able to punish that a bit.
30 seconds.
Yeah, LYM. Again, I actually completely agree with you there. Checking for a ward. Instead, he finds an angry icicle man.
No, it's just the pick on Ancient Apparition is great because when you're depending on the IO as your carry, you kind of one of the biggest things about the IO is particularly that healing and that overcharge and the ability to really combine with a creep, etc. All this stuff, right? And the Timbersaw as well is a hero that's particularly dependent on healing. And because Timbersaw this game, because they don't have a traditional carry, they're going to depend much more on the tempo that Timbersaw and Wind Ranger can create for them. So the Ancient Apparition completely counters their healing. And mid Ancient Apparition, much like the offlane Ancient Apparition, is a really, really strong. It's a really, really strong pickup. In terms of tempo. Beast God's been doing this for ages.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they decide to do with it here. Our Spirit as well, starting off with the boots, which is not generally the build I see. I feel like you either go with the Orb of Venom, boots, and tangos, I guess, but this gives you like a few more rolling boulders, but like a boulder smash and a few rolling boulders, and that's about it before you have forced to ferry out plenty of mana. But it does help trading a lot here with the Tusk at the very least, so I think that's going to be a lot of what this is about here.
In the bottom lane, I can also imagine Timbersaw having the easiest lane against a Lifestealer. Yes, he's a strength hero, so Timbersaw technically has a bit of an advantage, but the real problem here is more along the lines of you can't really push him out of lane. And Jakiro is fantastic against Timbersaw because constant magical damage. In fact, Jakiro can also trade nicely against the Tiny and force him away, while the Lifestealer just continues to push down bottom.
Yep, LYM. Lim doing some creep shenanigans. He's going to be punished here a bit for sure by our Jakiro. But he's doing his job here, making sure that the Timber can play as aggressively as possible here. And not having a fun time already is Lance. That's no surprise.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the matchup in solo is not that bad, but you're definitely one of the better carries to deal with him. Out of all the melee carries, I would say Lifestealer can recover nicely, especially with open wounds. So I don't see too much of a problem this game. I honestly do find that this lifestealer pick is really solid. The tempo for Star is not slow enough that you can afford to do a lineup like they did, honestly. I thought that Star would have a much... If they have a much slower game, I can see the advantage of your lineup, but without the slow game, I don't love it as much. LYM in the bottom lane might just die again to Mozun. Oh, they actually catch Yamate at the top. If the Io gets the carry. Okay, how did he get the kill there? With just overcharge and Tusk, I guess. Yeah. I guess the Tusk combo with Io is pretty nice.
Yeah, even with boots and rolling boulder. Wow. Sure.
Yeah, sure. You know, I'm not gonna go against the unorthodox. You know, I love when you do unorthodox stuff.
There you go.
Yamate missed. That was a huge miss.
Yeah, well, he did get juked as
bottom
LYM.
lane.
Yeah, he was looking to try and TP away and will be punished very quickly for that one.
Oh.
Yeah, this top lane is... I'm surprised that it's working. I mean, what do you go level 2? Because Snowball is weird. Snowball will not break tether until you get out of range. Snapfire again getting going on is going to force another rolling boulder, but this Earth Spirit only level 1, really starting to suffer here a bit in this lane. But level 3 already the Snapfire, so you can start blasting away with the Scatter Blast.
Yeah, Snapfire is too good a laner, I think, for you to try to run her completely out of lane. You got to kill on Yamate because he's a bit out of position and he was trying to play the game where he trade through the Tusk. But the reality is you shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, you should be doing what Yamate's doing right now. Staying close to your offlane and helping him. Oh, nice block there by DB, and they get the kill in the end regardless. They can't underestimate this combo, though, of Tusk plus Io. It's a powerful combo. You really cannot let them dominate the lane like this. You got to... take your distance, play better with the cookie as well, and for Earth Spirit to also be near you at all times to make sure attack team can't be impacted.
Yeah, I think they're just a little bit too confident in how strong the laner the Snapfire really is. Because I agree, Snapfire is a very strong laner, but can't really be affording risks like that. You know, it's no Faceless Void back in the day.
I'm not gonna lie, they're as confused as us in terms of the draft. It sucks for them. They're like, well, I've never seen something like this before, so they're not as confident in how they should be playing. So, middle lane, Mozun.
Nice.
Oh no.
Yep, Rune Spawn stop.
Yeah, I think Mozun is gonna die here to the wind range. There's no way you're making out. You're Jakiro, you're lumbering, you're slow, and you're dead now.
Both supports actually rotating on over, which is going to give solo experience over to the side lanes. DDZ, though, is actually suffering quite a bit here, I will say. He's down a full wave, not only in CS, but also in denies. He is starting to suffer just a little bit. He's got a half-level disadvantage here currently that he's going to be fighting, and it could be even more as the Tusk is going to rotate on over to the Icicle, trying to turn at least on the Windrunner with the Cold Feet, which will proc Yamata here in the mid lane with the Boulder Smash onto 2, maybe looking for the kill onto Maman. Dive, healing self. Yeah, this isn't going to work out very nicely. Just feeding the second kill instead. Split 3 ways, and oof.
Man, you cannot do this though. They're literally losing the plot right now. They're feeding kills. They're playing way too aggressive. Like, all you need to do this game is wait, and you would have won the game automatically. But because you're actually allowing them to get kills, now this game is becoming a bit, even, to be honest, in terms of the drafts, because they do have a faster carry than you do. We've seen how fast the IO can play when you play as a carry. And get a kill on the Tiny there.
Yeah, I was looking bottom here. Lance healing salve. It pops by Wami. Look at him. He's just bullying him.
I think he's dead to the chain.
Good.
Oh, Whirling this is about to dispel them. Yeah. It's done. It's done. But he's just tanking the tower, no problem, to get the extra charges of that reactive armor. The creeps are really helping him stay alive as well. Now, second south from Mozun. Mozun is the target. And Womi is like, yeah, sure. I'll kill him. I'll kill him. I swear I'll kill him.
Kill them all.
Get away from me.
He's going to kill anyone that comes to his lane. He's got a Tiny here as well to boot. This could very well be the life of the Jakiro. Wouldn't be surprised if it was. And there he goes. Back mid, though, DDZ might get ganked again. The Tusk is closing the gap. The ward maybe just scouting them there. Now DDZ for sure has got vision. But 6-minute mark. Rune will spawn bottom. It's a DD. And it looks like it's going to be going the way of Mamang Daya.
Let's see if they can take the kill here on the Tusk. It was Yamate. Oh, I set up a cold. Very well played.
Nicely done.
That snowball was a bit of a hopeful dream there. We still might survive here.
Yeah,
really? With the shackle shot, the ice blast will hit Malang Daya, but it doesn't really matter as they already killed Yamate. There's the toss, trying to kill Malang Daya. Or, no, sorry, that's also from the Tiny. They're trying to kill Mozun as they set him for Mamandaya. And Mozun will go down to the tower in the end. Nice counter initiation. They really are losing the plot. I'm seeing them become so desperate with these kills.
Yeah.
Particularly Yamate. He's playing so haphazard.
Yeah, definitely. Huh, this is... Yeah, I agree. They're kind of losing the plot. They're getting really desperate for the kills. I see a lot of, like, as an Earth Spirit player, I see a lot of the desperation that he's getting. He's, oh, this is a kill, I'll roll in, and then you are all of a sudden in a very, very bad position with no spells to use, and oof.
I was expecting the Ancient Apparition to do, but I mean, not in the lane necessarily, because obviously the lane versus Wind Ranger is a bit tough. I don't think he played that well though, because he kept trying to hit her with Chilling Touch, and your goal as an Ancient Apparition is actually to use Chilling Touch to not let her get creeps, right? Just use it to get lasses, essentially, which he clearly failed to do. And Ancient Apparition is not great at recovering. The good thing about Ancient Apparition mid, though, is that you don't need many items to be useful, so it's kind of okay still. But they need to pick up the pace this game. They need to stop actually losing people left, right, and center. Well, I can't believe a Tusk Tiny, you know, a melee support combo is actually winning the lane this thing.
Yeah, against a Snapfire and an Earth Spirit, like...
The Tusk Io is a good combination, honestly.
It really
we
is.
didn't really consider it because we didn't think of Tusk as a 5, but yeah, if you're playing it like this, dude.
They will rotate top now onto our Tusk. Go to rolling Boulder in. Boulder smash, I believe, did not connect. So he's going to be off and away with plenty of HP here, but they will drop the kisses now. Forcing him back, though, with the shards, and eventually they will get him kisses
That's
committed
a 5,
for that.
though. And DDZ in the middle lane gets a kill on LYM. Mamang Daya was looking for the kill on DDZ. He does die to one power shot if he gets him.
I
Nope,
guess
guessed
it's
completely
incorrect.
correctly. Also, there's... No, he was just trying to do work. Because there's no way you actually kill him with a no-charged power shot. I mean, I guess Mamang Daya has free mid lane anyway, so who cares if he does kill the Ancient Apparition or not. You just force him to walk over to base, and Ancient Apparition is super slow, so this is a huge waste of time.
It is
Your tempo
true.
is falling off.
He's got a really good move speed, but... I'm sorry, he's got a really good attack range, but a really bad move speed. That's how they balance the hero. He's also squishy, which is surprising for Ice. But one runner popping the Invis Rune, heading bot lane. That dodge just went out. Lance not too eager to eat a power shot there with, a focus fire with the javelin. And that they are going to be scouting on her. Going instead for the armlet on our life stealer. So a bit of an earlier fighting build. I like this, the itemization, just to get a much earlier time in here. Because they will be trying for a kill here. Nice, actually, with the Ice Blast connecting. That one is as good as sealed. Good rotation out from DDZ.
Okay, that's a really important kill, actually, because you're trying to... You got the space creator for the enemy team, right? Wind Ranger is strong with Javelin, but not strong enough to just take the game on her own. You really need the Timbersaw to do that, and Io was probably going to partner up with him, so that's a good idea here. I kind of like it.
So this is a concept I always really like talking about. It's the fact that Dota doesn't really have like set heroes that are quote supports or quote hard carries like maybe other MOBAs do, right? Well, you know, like you
any hero can play any roles. What you
kind of right for the most part. Generally, you see in AA, it's most likely going to be support. Here, obviously, it's a mid lane. But the thing is, you do have kind of two heroes are balanced just a little bit differently, and these more heroes that you tend to see in the support roles do have earlier power spikes, right? Usually their spells are super powerful because they generally get less XP. They're really bad at farming, stuff like this, right? That's how they're balanced out. So it's kind of like really fun to see a support, generally more of a support hero, played in a core role and rotate early on, because you can see just the difference of an AA rotation versus a Windrunner rotation around the same time.
Yeah.
One of them is a lot scarier.
I see what you mean. I mean, I remember back in the day when it was like impossible and Dota was much more standard. I mean, back in the day, like maybe tier 3, tier 2 time. I still remember one game, I think it was Navi, and if the only carry they realistically had was Dendi on the DP, and that was it, right? They didn't have a real carry. I don't know what Hubbles is playing right now. And you're like, how are they going to win this? Dendi DP, it's impossible. He's not a carry. And then, no, he did carry that game. And that's when kind of things shifted around the idea of Dota. Because people were like, oh, so you can actually win without a carry necessarily? Like, your win condition can be something a bit more varied.
Yeah.
And ever since, I think Dota has been much more varied, and we're starting to see this much more now, where Snapfire, Ancient Apparition are fine mids, they're fine offlaners, they're fine supports. Everything is flex as long as you play it appropriately.
Yep.
Dota is not about what is the right play, it's about being cohesive. Your play needs to be cohesive with your
exactly. It's more of what's the right play style, not really what's the right draft. I don't know, actually. It's a bit
I
of
would
both,
say is what's the right time for something, right? You can play any hero in any position as long as you know how to play. Nice evasion of the Ice Blast Unsteady. Still swallowing up though. The ice path kind of bursting you down. It's a song of ice and fire here. As they bring him down, thanks to the Mortimer Kisses. Still killing Mozun, but he is your support, Jakiro, so who cares? Stopping the Tiny Tusk is still quite important.
Unlike a Song of Ice and Fire, this one ends in 2 deaths and actually finished. Too real. Anyway, they waited a long time for that as well. I gotta say, the 2 supports, they were there for like probably a full minute, actually. Kind of just waiting by the cliff. Waiting by the cliff, yes, but also kind of just generally in this whole area. Interesting spot. It kind of worked out for them, but they only get the Jakiro. They were looking for much bigger fish there. There you go, drive by. Yamada picking up the haste rune there. Slams up, dropping the magnetize there. In addition to the ice path now. Tag team just trying to buy as much time as he can. But Wisp is here actually, and is a bit scary now, especially with plenty of damage. EDZ dropping the ice blast onto 1 only. That's not really going to cut it. He will be nuked down quite quickly. As now AG, they're looking for more. Relocate is going to be back into the base.
What?
Okay, now that they're going to keep fighting, Lance is going to get the kill onto Lim instead. Yamada's still alive here. Now Womi is back in the fight. Mamang Dai, I think, actually TP'd back in.
That was the weirdest fight I've seen in a while. Because you tossed him as well, right, as he got relocated, right? So what? Was the Tiny getting a different memo? Are they on 2 different comms? And Tiny was thinking they were going in, and Wind Ranger was thinking they were going out? I don't know. That was confusing. It's still a win, right? And it's one of the weaknesses of having these quote-unquote unorthodox heroes like Snapfire or Ancient Apparition, which is that there's a reason why they're not playing those roles traditionally.
Yes.
It's because Ancient Apparition lacks the sustained damage that a mid laner can provide, like a Wind Range. And we see that they're literally here, where Mamang Daya is capable of bursting him down, and once Ancient Apparition uses his spells, there's not really much point in him saying.
Yeah, I mean, look at his items, for example. You compare the 2, right? And that tells the story. 3 null talismans, he's going for that 9% spell amp, which is great, because he's burst damage, that's all he is. Compared to Windrunner, who's all about that sustained damage, actually now with the Demon Edge. Pumps in a fair amount. Quite scary hero, going for that MKB best item in the game of Dota 2.
Yeah, it's interesting because just because one team has quote-unquote the unorthodox IO carry, the Team Star doesn't have quite conventional cores either. So it's not like they have an advantage in that sense of a sustained, easier to play draft. But we did mention at the beginning because it is more standard to see the Ancient Apparition mid and the Snapfire offlane, certainly, than a carry-less draft, but it's not crazy and it's kind of working for him. In fact, IO is really close to getting an Orchid, man. Can you believe it?
Wow.
Yeah. Great against Lifestealer, though. Really good against Lifestealer.
Yeah, I guess it is. As the relocate, they're going to be heading top lane for Lance. Speaking of good against the Lifestealer, hitting with the Walrus Punch. Nice job closing the gap as well, as the Avalanche will be there to lock him down. And the kill going over to DB. Caught farming very aggressively there. I mean, they've got great wards for him, but the wards don't really matter when you can just get relocated on, huh?
Yeah. It's the power of the IO.
Sorry, I hate to interrupt you, but Snapfire Ag's already up and done.
Well, not bad, but like, the power of the IO still is that you have to change the way you play the game once you have IO up, because you have to really be wary of the relocate at all times. Positioning is not the traditional way of positioning yourself. It doesn't work against an IO. Here the Tusk will reveal the smoke. Not bad. Honestly, it does not scary. Unless IO wants to fight us, apparently. They go for the Orchid, stop the Snapfire from initiating. There's the Ice Blast. IO's going to follow it up. Snowball does not quite avoid it, so he did get hit by the Ice Blast. And now, using the Axe and the Snapfire, they stop the Timbersaw from initiating. LYM, though, got a nice avalanche touch. They destroy the Ancient Apparition completely, as Yamate is now being destroyed by Womai. But Candy Loon comes in with the fire, trying to kill LYM and bringing down the Wind Ranger as well. However, he misses most of those shots, and instead he's going to be meat for this team as they get another nice team fight build. 3 kills here. Lifestealer does not rotate, sure, but 2 of them are on cores.
Yeah, I think that was I don't even know what to make of that one, to be honest. That was just a weird fight. I mean, it was like in that fight there are no traditional cores. No one just no one was there. Oh, this could be a kill on Rami, and indeed it will. Way too aggressive farming out like that without any vision of the trees. That's a bit of a silly death. It's the second time he's died now to the AA, kind of just showing up and hitting him with a short range, a shotgun ice blast, basically.
Yeah, sure. It's not great, but I mean, I guess it's not that bad because you're fighting even. Lifestealer is farming pretty well. Lance has not really bothered to join his team at all, and this is the right play because you should be farming and try to just beat the IO in terms of farm because you know you're going to win this if this goes late anyway. But obviously, you can't let them run you down completely. It is sad to see that Army Genius has not been able to take any towers or objectives, which makes this whole plan of dominating the enemy much harder. Yamate with an infest bomb.
Whoa.
Can they kill the IO? It's a bit tough, huh? I don't think you can easily.
If you land the roll, maybe, but they're gonna have it scouted. Wow, they're going for it. Unbelievable. That's
crazy, Yamate.
That is crazy. Yeah, he's got 600 move speed, dude.
You're not accomplishing that whatsoever.
We do, however, have the Rod of Atos, as well as actually a great infest bomb target, but instead they're gonna gobble up the Jakiro and just spit him right back out. Just give him a quick munch.
Well, that's lifestealer going out and wasting an infest. There's no infest bomb there. Yamate has not had much success this game, unfortunately. He feels really useless on the Sword Spirit.
Honestly, I've been thinking about this Orchid on the Wisp, on the core Wisp that is, in case you haven't noticed. I think I like it, right? Because the power spike for Eggs, the build used to always be Helm into Eggs, right? Because then you get it around the 15-minute mark. I'm sorry, you get it by the time you hit level 15. Hold that thought, they're fighting. Oh, nice kisses there into the Magnetize. Yeah, Tusk though, a Snowball, maybe a little bit late. He's probably still going to end up perishing. Snowball towards the creep wave just to punch DDZ in the face one last time before he is buried 6 feet under.
And this is when you see the weaknesses of a non-traditional draft, where oftentimes the issue is that when you start losing, you start getting desperate and you start losing how to play, right? Because the playstyle for these non-traditional drafts is so unorthodox that you have to specifically kind of retrain your mind to play Dota when you're doing this. And in the case of Star, it's not that difficult for them. They just play normal Dota, whereas Army Geniuses needs to play specifically really aggressively. They bring down DDC, that's good. But it's clearly DDZ is not playing as the mid.
Yeah, that's good, but they lost a triple stack to Lance,
exactly.
Which is bad.
Which is much worse because Lance is the main hero you need to stop right now.
Yeah.
We don't care if DDZ dies. We don't care if the Snapfire dies here. We care right now if you can beat the Lifestealer.
Yeah. I am interested though. So real quick, just to finish my point, because now the talent is on 20, right? And it's also not as strong as it used to be. I can't believe, wasn't it like 90 damage or something in TI8 or 9? It was like something ridiculous at level 15.
Oh,
obviously,
the IO?
Yeah.
That was a fair amount. I heard for that. 50 maybe.
Oh, I can't finish it. They're fighting again, Avo.
Yeah, they are. They go in, trying to go for the Snapfire fight. The Timbersaw first. They do destroy him. Iceman really well done. And the two supports being melee. They can't fight a Jakiro, mate. Yamate going in for Mamandaya. He's losing his win run. Mozun. They have the Aegis ready, so the Ice Path hits. So does the Ice Blast. And that's going to be a Wind Ranger being iced.
Oh, indeed. Put on ice for a while, even with DD and MKB. That was like, I'm ready to fight. Let's do this, boys. Boys, where'd you go? Yeah.
I mean, this is the weakness we said in the draft. The two melee supports. I think I was more opposed to this than the carry out. Much more so. I'd rather you play a non-traditional carry than play with two melee support. That's just so weak. And your initiation is getting stopped by Ice Path every single time because you just have to walk towards the Jakiro and he stops you.
I mean, I don't know. Is it these two specific melee supports, or is it any two specific melee supports?
No. Ogre Magi works. It's these two specifically.
That's what I mean. Okay, I just wanted you to be a little bit more specific there.
Yeah, sorry. I don't mean you can't play two melee supports in general.
Okay.
You can't play two melee supports that both usually get played as four.
I'm going to finish my point right now. I like the Orchid because, as you can see, he's level 15. He could also have the Ags now, but it'd be useless because he doesn't actually have the talent. So he's going to have Ags by the time he hits 20. There we go. There's point. Finished. Nice and succinct.
It reminds me of when Morphling used to rely on the Ags as well. And then some Morphlings were like, why are we buying Ags before level 18? Just buy Yashi. You farm fast.
And now it's, why are we buying Ags before level 20?
Yeah, exactly. The IO Ags, though, is not as commonly seen nowadays when we play the IO carry. Or at least, actually, the build right now is IO mid, and the IO Ags is not as popular. Most people will remember the IO mid or the IO carry from OG, and that is when you do build the Ags, but currently it wasn't the build. But, you know, if DB is confident in this, it works out with the timing there.
Yeah, and actually, we should see a pipe. We will be seeing no pipe.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, that's going to hurt. Ouch.
Yeah, against Ancient Apparition and Earth Spirit and Jakiro.
I mean, actually, both teams, really. I mean, against the Tiny, against Wisp level 20.
Snap can go for pipe later. So.
We'll see. She's going for Grease. That's quite a big purchase, Yamate. He's got no
Yamate?
vision.
That's clumsy
here.
net now, so he can set up for kills easier.
Yeah.
Io's fast. Yamate guess. Oh, not bad a guess.
It's pretty
Rolls
close.
a bit too far away.
Close but no cigar. I think it's too fast, man. They have caught a Tusk, but they're not going to be willing to jump on him. It's Kobold, the foreman. Look at this. The tether can't even keep up with these guys.
Okay. I mean, they missed the rolling boulder, but they still killed Tusk. I guess that's okay. You don't really want to Tusk for this thing. You wasted a bunch of time. Remember that ever since Lifestealer got played as a support, they changed them fast so that it doesn't actually start lowering its cooldown until you come out. So it's a bunch of wasted time for the Lifestealer. Only getting a 5, you don't care. You don't want this at all.
This one
And
has.
Lifestealer's one advantage here that you should be able to outfarm an IO, but it's not happening.
No, I was about to say this was. He's rich. He is rich.
I mean, IO does not farm slowly, but I would say that Lifestealer should still be able to beat him. IO's not as slow as farm. He's not a. It's a really slow.
No, he's
An Ursa.
No, of
Oh,
course.
that's not true.
I mean, but look at this. He's 3 levels ahead of his mid laner.
Yep.
That's like, and we're 20. We're not even like that late into the game. You know, it's 22 minutes.
And the wind is doing fine as well for herself.
Yeah.
Not she's poor either.
Yeah, that was not a slight at the Windrunner. She's doing pretty decent. Blink Dagger as well on the Tiny, so maybe that solves some of the issues you have with the Jakiro just kind of, you know, stopping everyone from walking at him. We'll see if maybe now AG can get a little bit of a better fight underneath their belt. But again, they're going to lose another stack of the Ancients. This is now the 5th Ancients that they've had taken away from them.
The Lifestealer's going for the Halberd, which is going to help him a lot. I think once you get that Halberd, the damage from the... I mean, the Windranger's still going to go through, but the IO will deal much less damage to you, because obviously the Spirits are not meant for Lifestealer, because you can just rage him. Going for towers now. Halberd will also help you heal a lot, which might be able to beat the lack of sustained damage on Army Geniuses. They're going to take this tower, though. If this tier 2 falls, you can start invading the enemy jungle, and it becomes a bit more difficult for you to recover.
Oh, they've got vision. Oh, that Tusk. Can he get the D ward before they kill him? No, they will not.
What did they launch at him? This was a Centaur.
I think it was, yeah, neutral. They've been throwing lots of neutral creeps, which look really funny when they fly because they have no animation, so they just T-pose, basically.
Okay, so 2k lead now for Star. Not bad, actually, considering how the early game was kind of favored for Army Geniuses. But IO is about to hit his final power spike, which is level 20, as you mentioned, with Ags and BKB as well.
I beg to differ, sir. His final power spike will be level 25 when he gets tether attacks allies targets. I imagine he might go for a Satanic after this.
Oh, and you go out with Wind Ranger. Oh,
yes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, yes.
I can see that.
Oh, yes. Then we're talking.
Wow, this is like a full cheese draft, right? This is Wind Ranger Tusk, IO Tusk. You have the IO ultimate with the Wind Ranger, IO healing with a Timber Saw.
And how do you counter cheese? With more cheese, DDZAA. Oh, crackers. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, right? That's how you counter cheese. You put the cracker on the Brie, and the Brie no longer has power. It becomes one with the cracker. I'm a sophisticated man. I come from Spain. Okay, we eat cheese there.
Counter cheese? I barely know her. This is so stupid. It's my favorite joke. I love Airplane. So stupid. Anyway, Solar Crest is a great item here for our Earth Spirit. Just more armor, more evasion, slow down that attack speed of either the Wisp or the Windrunners to be more efficient.
Oh, can they catch her? Can they catch her? They don't. Oh, Glimmer Cape. What a good That was very fun. And even use the ultimate Snapfire just to commit to the kill. Yeah, Stevie was done. I don't know if he was trying to relocate there. I don't think he could have anyway. Really, really good. I also heard that Lifestealer, yeah, he just lost the H's.
Yep,
but
reclaimed.
Getting the kill on the IO is worth, and Lance is farming really aggressively anyway. That's a good use for the first Aegis. Use it to farm aggressively. Find Wolemine. Oh, got the MVP.
Yes.
He's just chunking him.
Nice. Help me get the D word. All right. See you later.
No. Very well played. Very well played, actually. We're seeing Star. This is how you're supposed to play from behind, right? They lost their composure a bit early, especially in the laning stage, but now they're starting to play much more consistent. They're not making as many errors, and they kind of fix their issues.
I think that, to be honest, though, they're a very item-based lineup, right? I mean, it feels a little silly to say that in a game like Dota, where you can literally build any hero as a carry or a core or a support, depending on the items you build, right? But I mean, I feel like this lineup especially so. What is a Tiny without his wing? What is a hero without his boots?
That's true. I guess you're right about that.
Because, like, Earth Spirit, does he really? He just needs levels, right?
He does. Yeah, so Army Geniuses need to hit those peaks. But that's your fault, though, for picking the
It is.
for time.
I'm not making excuses for the early game behavior. I
think the intimidation as well by Star has been really smart. I love the vessel on the Earth Spirit, the choice of Glimmer Cape as opposed to Yule Scepter on Jakiro. Really good. He's going for 4-step as well. I think it's Mosun's best hero, though. I haven't seen him play in the I do think that Jakiro was one of his well.
Look at that damage, even without that level 20 talent. I was gonna.
And there's no Desolator either on this Lifestealer.
Yeah, he's not pushed that quickly. You know how we really haven't been seeing do too much, though, is the Timber Saw. I feel like every time we just see him, he's kind of just dies. He was good in lane. I don't do this to, like, call out the player and, you know, hey, let's all play in lap. But, I mean, what's gone wrong
You're a
for
bit
him
of a
here?
flaming caster. I don't know. I'm not really happy with your unprofessional.
Well, you know,
have you seen your socks, dude?
I learned from the best, Winter-chan. What are you doing, Fnatic?
No, that's why he gets hate messages, though, by everyone that likes TNC. Force Step is almost complete on Mozu. That's nice. That's gonna help.
And a BKB as well for our Windrunner, so she's finally not going to be blown up by all this magic damage that Team Star have.
But you're still vulnerable to the stuns, and the Ice Blast still pierces you, right? So.
Someone asks, can Snapfire eat a teammate in 5 ILS? Indeed, he can. She can. Well, Mortimer. I don't know what Mortimer is. He's a cute lizard.
Mortimer is the lizard thing, right?
Yeah, but Snapfire doesn't eat it.
It's Mortimer eats. Mortimer eats the person, which Lifestealer is inside of. So Mortimer gets a double snack, but then he spits it because Lifestealer tastes disgusting. I mean, he's dead. It's like eating rotten.
Lifestealer speaks. He is disgusting.
Yes, dude. It's true. Have you seen this hero, man? He's like a bunch of dead meat with metal. Would you eat that?
Not really too many defensive items at all, actually, on the side of Team Star. I mean, maybe with the exception of the medallion and I guess the 2 glimmers. So
you don't need defensive items. You're good, right? That's the joke.
Oh, for now.
Also, Basher on Lifestealer now, so he's gonna get a Abyssal.
This Tusk is so poor. Look where he's farming. I can't believe he's farming out, but they have vision on all 5 heroes. They know they're gonna be looking to push.
It doesn't. I guess it doesn't matter. They've shown. Yeah, exactly. They've shown themselves. They have vision on them. Who cares? For the Water Sponge stun duration, be more useful. Guys, I got more initiation. I have a 1.5 second stun now.
And he's got a Blink Dagger to boot.
Oh well, that's actually all the items Tusk needs though. He's very item independent.
Yeah.
That's why it's okay to run Tusk 5. I don't think it's crazy. I think a lot of teams still do it. Thunder Predator and Beast Coast will do it. I've seen, I think, not Secret, Nigma do it as well. Back when Kuroki played, it was very common to run Tusk 5. Tusk 5 is fine, but you can't run Tusk 5 with another greedy item-dependent core. Or 4, sorry.
I would hesitate to call this a low-kill game, but I'm surprised Lance decided to go with the Armlet first item here on the Lifestealer. Because it's like, I feel like you go Armlet, you're like, let's fight, you know? But he's kind of gone for, I want to say, kind of a mix of all the builds. Yeah,
because he didn't go for Dezo after.
Right. He's like,
okay, initiation, smoke.
Oh, the wraparound?
That's been silenced. Okay, the Wind Ranger goes on Lifestealer directly, but nice, they saved him. Snapfire, you gotta spin him away! You gotta spin him, but can't do time. And Lance is stuck here, he's supposed to invest in Ancient instead. Now, everyone's fighting the Magnifier though, so it could be a counter initiation here from Team Star, sorry, as Lance starts destroying the Wind Ranger, chunking her and destroying her. And the Io is forced to relocate just slightly so he can get away. Meanwhile, on the backline's Tiny is also going to suffer his own death as Yamate ropes him and kills him. Now just waiting for the relocate here. The Io cannot heal enough, and the Io's on the phone. Nice path to set up for this. The Io is dead. Very well played here by Star. They managed to mitigate the early initiation here from Army Geniuses, and then once Lance got away from all those stuns and ultimates, he was free to hit, and that was game.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of a bit awkward of a fight. Everyone kind of grabbed their dance partner and went square dancing. And I think AG, they need to play a little bit more together. If not, I mean, really, because you look at their supports, right? And their supports, they have burst and short amounts of lockdown. You need everyone all together in those amounts of time, especially you're playing with Wisp, you know? It's like, you need to all kind of be focusing together. They were a little bit all over the place in that fight. There were some people, you know, by the ward spot, some people underneath the tier 2, some people over by the secret shop. It was it just went so poorly for them very quickly. I mean, how are you gonna want a 1v1 Lifestealer, right?
Yeah, no. Especially with a Wind Ranger that has no win run because like, he has MKB, so he just pierces right through your win run.
Exactly. It was.
Tusk is also in a difficult position. There's the snowball. They tried to stop him with an Atos. They do slow him down, and I think Tusk is dead.
Yep.
Yeah, he lost his.
Oh,
that was a terrible Ice Blast.
That's okay. It's easy. He's a mid laner. He's not a support player. He doesn't hit those.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's not like Invoker Sunstrike. It's easy to hit, right? Ice Blast is truly a skill. A skill shot.
Top lane? Lifestealer? Come on, we were just praising you. Okay, he's gonna get the infest and run away. What was I just on about? No, but I mean, I think AG, they had the right idea. Again, like, I can't criticize their decision to take the fight. I'm just criticizing how they decided to take that fight, or at least how it played out. As, I mean, they hit they hit a bunch of really good timings, right? Level 20 on the Wisp with the Ags, that's go time. You got BKB, you saw the long duration BKB on the Windrunner. Blink Dagger on both of your melee supports, and they're going to go again. And again, I think this is the right decision to make. Even though they're down 13k, this is kind of at their strongest.
Yes, but you've hit a wall though when it comes to these team fights. You just, yeah, I guess you have to take advantage of these power peaks, but it's not going to work out well for you. What are you gonna? I don't think so. Like honestly, unless you get a pick off here, like if you force another fight like this, it's not going to work well. And depending on who the pick off is, doesn't really matter. If it's Jakiro, for example, who cares? Yeah, they're ignoring Jakiro.
They want Lance, and he is isolated, but they're not going to.
But he's in a really good position though. They're sandwiching them. Yamate's to get away. Yolfiter stops him. He can't roll in boulder. Silence, and they shackle him. Okay, Yamate's dead, but can the counter initiate still. Snapfire, Snowball, cancels that Mortimer's kisses.
Big ice blast.
They disarm the Timbersaw. They're dividing the team fight well. They destroy the Timbersaw as the Wind Ranger.
Yep.
Now suffering against Lance. They force the BKB. Lance being kited around. Nice shackle shot. Can they stop him from killing the lifestealer? They do, because they glimmer cape him before they get stunned. Well played, as the Wind Ranger is now stuck in the ice path. They have an Io trying to TP. Bash, no bash. Lance, unlucky, has to allow the Io to get away, but still a win for Stock.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this one is going to be possible for AG to come back here at this point. He was in a good position. He did have the Abyssal Blade, but it's like that was, I think, the best opportunity that AG could hope for. Smoking a 5-man smoke out of the base, kind of everyone a little bit separated, but the Yule Scepter, as good as it is for the setup and canceling the rolling boulder, buys a lot of time for enemies to begin rotating. They get sandwiched on by Lance, and the team fight is just kind of lost from there. And my goodness, with the Solar Curse, look how fast they attack. Cookie to heal him up a bit. That could actually burst through his Aegis. Oh, the Abyssal Blade, though. Oh, nice job there underneath the tier 4 towers. Life stealing so much off of the Tiny now as they're going to try and lock him down, but they're unable to do so. Lance, the double kill underneath the tier 4s, finds the kills there. Nice Yule Scepter at least will allow the Timber to live a little bit longer. Romami is going to get ice blasted by DDZ. The buyback on the Tiny, though. Cold Feet will now trigger. This could be a kill onto Yamate.
No. Oh.
It will, as the Wisp Ball is finally starting to do a little bit of work here.
Lance, though, he's like, all right, let's fight then. And they're coming at me. I'll fight them. Tiny's frozen solid, killed. Mozun, yes, might die as a result. Lance goes inside a creep. Are you going to continue this fight? No, Lance wants to get away. But they found DDZ. You have to save your teammate. Look at the creep go. Well, for DB, no, the creep is going away. The creep is going away.
Dude, I'm out of here, guys. See you later.
You're not fighting this. I'm living the life of a melee creep now.
Yep. He's like, I'm the only core on this team. What happened? Okay, good stuff there from AG. I think.
Yeah. They found him. They actually found him. He might die. Because he spent too much time in the mid lane doing nothing? No way. He still has Aegis, though. Maybe you might be overcommitting. Maybe you might be overcommitting, because Lance can still fight. Rage, Mortis Punch to stop it. There's the Focus Fire. A lot of damage onto Lance, even though you have the Focus Fire and you can't kill him quite yet.
Oh, okay.
Finally, the Chakram finishes him off, but it's just his first life, though. It is the Aegis, which, by the way, was going to expire in 20 seconds, so it's not a win.
Oh, they're going right back in.
Throw the Lifestealer. Go, Lance! Get an open wounds off. Rage for extra movement speed. Among Daya, 5 seconds to the win run. Lance can actually hurt him, but he decides to make it off as his teammates were a bit too slow, and he was afraid of getting picked off.
Yeah. that was great. Like you were saying, that the Aegis was about to be reclaimed anyway, so he's like, whatever, I'll just take a death here. And a good decision to try and yeet him right back into battle, but unfortunately, just too fast. The Swift is just so fast.
I mean, it's kind of one of your advantages. The IO Wind Ranger, you're supposed to be able to kite the Lifestealer. Unfortunately, these past few fights, Jakiro had so much impact with the Ice Path that you weren't able to kite him. But now, in this last fight, you saw what you're supposed to be doing. If you're fighting in your territory, you kite the Lifestealer around, he does nothing, you kill the people around him, and then eventually, when he's brokenhearted, when he has no friends, then you go on him.
I almost feel like AG, they should be looking to play this really defensively. Like, there's so much burst. Like, we have a lot of sustained damage here on the side of AG with the Wisp, with the Windrunner, with the Timber especially, right? Whereas Team Star is nearly composed of all burst damage with the exception of the Lifestealer. So I don't know. I guess maybe in that sense, I am a little bit surprised that they are actually going for these very aggressive fights, smoking out with their item power spikes, as they are going to be locating the tiny top lane, trying to force themselves off the map. Unbelievable. Just the worst ice blast I think I've seen from DDZ this map somehow actually still hits onto the tiny.
Yeah. And they do get the kill on a tiny, which honestly, 50 seconds out of one of your initiators, not great for you.
Yeah.
They could make something happen in 50 seconds. They do rely on the tiny a bit, because the tiny has been kind of the reason why DDZ died, or why the Snapfire got her ultimate cancelled. They have an E-Blade? Yeah, E-Blade on DDZ, by the way.
E-Blade on DDZ. That's what I mean. They're just all burst because there's 8 support heroes in the game.
Well, I guess. Yeah, there are 8 support heroes in here. Lance is going to do this tower now. No Desolator, but Snap does lower the armor of the tower, so that's going to be enough. And they have Solo Crest as well, which adds to his team fight.
Oh,
okay,
awesome.
they throw the Earth Spirit in. That's a great initiation. Oh my goodness, stunning Mamandaya and UK. They're both forced to buy back, actually, immediately. Yamate carries his life stealer back home. They called the Uber, that is Yamate, and he's saving his life. And they go back in. Uber not quite ready to go just yet, as Wolmy has to die first. They find the Tusk as well. It's going to be a dieback if UK dies here, and he's going to go down, and they throw the IO solid. They kicked him, though, not what they were looking for. Unfortunately, that force does save him, and Lance could be in trouble. E-Blade to help him out, the Cookie as well. A lot of healing here. The ice doesn't get him, and Lance gets destroyed by Wolmy. Simply a whirling death brought him down so easily. Yamate cannot survive this either. Gets stunned, trying to rolling boulder away. He can. And the ice path comes a bit too late as Yamate falls. Mosun tries to TP. They have a Yolt ready, and they will find him. Not TPing in the middle of the trees, not against this crazy man that is Timbersaw. Mosun tries to glimmer cape himself. He has Magic Wand, but unfortunately against 5 heroes in the late game, a Jakiro is not moving.
Yeah, and I think that's... I mean, not exactly. You don't want to get 2-man stunned by the gobble up. That was actually incredible how well that gobble up shot was. It was read on like a book. But that's like how the fight should be going. Survive the initial burst, buybacks if needed, I guess. And then just kind of take the fight with your sustained damage from there. After that, DDZ, I mean, yeah, DDZ lives, but it's like if they killed him, it really wouldn't have mattered. He wouldn't have had much more impact in that fight anyway. Same thing with a Jakiro. Great stuff.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that you still didn't do that badly in that team fight because you took the tier 3. You managed to force 2 buybacks. I don't think you're too sad about it. And honestly, it was the Whirling Death that kind of won the team fight there by surprise. Lifestealer did not count how much damage Whirling Death does when you are this far ahead, because then you lose so much strength, because obviously you have a bit of extra strength, and that just kind of surprised him. It wasn't that big a deal.
What is it now? 7%?
What, on the Whirling Death?
16%.
No, 16, mate. And then you can even get another 10%, so it can be up to 26%. Essentially, a fourth of your strength goes missing, which is a solid amount of your HP. Lifestealer is actually one of the weakest HP games in terms of the strength carries. Only 2.4 per level is nothing, really. But still, just naturally from the strength that you have, from the items that you've bought, from the armor, from the Heaven's Halberd, you're getting away a lot of HP from the Lifestealer.
I'm going to smoke up here on the side of Star. Look to burst him down a bit more. And fast bomb here for Yamate.
Radiant are scanning.
I'm trying to find the Wind Ranger. Stopped.
Oh my
Ancient
God.
operation. There's the rolling boulder. Yeah, fine.
We actually have, here it is, the Satanic Wisp now with the attack allies target. This is some serious damage. Now it's going to be a lot on DDZ here, unironically, with this Ice Blast to try and make sure they can take these fights.
Yeah, because you're not beating... If the Wind Ranger's focus firing whatever it is, and Io is attacking it too, you're not beating her in the middle.
Nope, you are not.
So you have to, as you say, get the Ice Blast off, or...
Yeah, I mean, we have alternates, right? We still have 13 Vessel Charges. That's going to be more than enough. Probably until the end of the game, unless you start using them for healing.
Okay, so we take the Aegis now. Aegis for lands, DDZ gets the cheese, not bad.
Whoa. That was only second Roche, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's why DDZ gets the cheese. Oh, no, it's third Roche.
Yeah, third Roche.
Aghanim Blessing.
DDZ, I was about to say, well, wait a second. What?
But do you give it to the Ancient Apparition? I mean, I guess you don't have better odds this game.
Yes. Otherwise, he's completely useless. After he, he hits Ice Blast or he doesn't, at least now he's got the use.
I think you just run out of mana, though, honestly.
But that's fine. That's fine, because you're all about burst anyway, so as long as you have a little bit more sustained damage, you're totally fine with that.
Sure. I guess removing the cooldown. I just never liked the Ancient Apparition axe, but fine. Smoke here. I honestly thought the Jakiro axe would have been better here. Okay.
No, because you just move it. If anything, I could see a case for the Earth Spirit Or if you want to meme it up, give it to Lance so he can eat someone, hop in someone else, and then
Now they're
the
scared of
Snapfire
it.
can eat them. As there we go now onto the Tiny. They're going to be able to get a snowball save on him. Nicely done. As the team now continuing to rotate on back. Tiny with the blink away. That's going to give the sacrifice of the Tusk. And now the reinforcements have arrived, but with no supports as the Abyssal Blade now onto the Windrunner. They have actually connected the Ice Blast. That means Wisp cannot heal her up whatsoever. Already blown up, dead for 2 minutes here nearly after being forced to buy back earlier. Great Ice Path there. Will connect onto 2 heroes as the Tiny will buy back. Toss one back into the fountain. It's only DDZ. He's got the cheese as well as the E-Blade.
No!
As they'll force staff him back and forward, beginning to fight. He's mine. No, he's ours. DDZ actually bought that force staff himself in the fountain.
One of the 4 steps between the squad. Yamate in the same position as our toss. I don't know,
cheese.
is that the second cheese? Okay.
Yeah.
They were saving that cheese from the second Roshan forever. And now they just use it to get the win here. Is through an illusion inside the fountain. The fountain farming now. The GG is called. Yeah, Army Geniuses. Honestly, I commend them because they tried something really weird and it almost worked. It was not bad.
Yeah. I think maybe you were right, to be honest. When I said, hey, they should be going out to fight, maybe they should be looking for fights, but they shouldn't be smoking out of their base into the enemy triangle for fights, if that makes sense.
We'll see. I don't know. I think that it was a difficult draft to play. It's hard when you gauge these things because when you have a more traditional draft, I think it's much more obvious to see where the mistakes are. Whereas these drafts, it's so easy to be carried away by, oh, they did this wrong. Well, yes, but the draft is just played in a weird way, so it's not always easy to pinpoint exactly where the mistakes were. I don't think Army Geniuses made that many mistakes, but they were a couple times they lost composure, and you could tell they went for bad team fights, and they didn't need to do that whatsoever. Especially in the early mid game, I thought they should have had much more domination with an IO carry, and it didn't really work out. However, was a very fun game to cast for sure. A game with 8 supports, that's fun, fantastic, honestly.
Yeah, you get to see some different tempos, some weirder pocket strats. I don't actually know if DDZ, he did eventually eat the Aghanim Synth. I think he was maybe waiting in case he needed to buy back because it does increase your net worth. But a fun game. I'm completely on your side here. We'll see what Game 2 has in store as we'll be going over to a quick break. But we'll hop back over to the couch for our draft for Game number 2 between Team Star and Army Geniuses. We'll see you then.